This is Smoking Out the Closet. Now, here are your hosts, Alex and Rayven Greer.
Hey, it's Rayven. I wanted to announce 2 new affiliate programs that Smoking Out the Closet is now a part of. First, I would like to announce a Pittsburgh local company, The Hemp Co., with 2 E's in The. They offer hemp-derived products including Delta 8 and Delta 9 gummies, vape cartridges, and pre-rolls, HHC vape cartridges, and sustainably used devices and products. All products are made with hemp bioplastic for all your cannabis device needs. And every product is third-party lab tested, DEA certified, and Farm Bill compliant. If you're looking to visit them in person, you can visit them at 20280 Route 19, Number 3, Cranberry Township, Pennsylvania, 16066, or online at theehempco.com. Be sure to use SOTC20 at checkout for 20% off on us. And we're also wildly excited about our partnership with Blazy Susan. They offer their iconic Blazy Susan rolling tray, as well as papers and cones in unbleached hemp, their famous pink, and their brand new purple colors. Follow our affiliate link in the show notes and use Blazy10, BLAZY10, for 10% off on checkout. Now, on with the episode. Hi, I'm Rayven. I use she, her pronouns.
Hi, I'm Alex. I use they, them pronouns.
Welcome back to another episode of
Smoking Out the Closet.
We weren't fully on time on that one.
No.
It's okay.
It happens sometimes.
I
can't
was
be perfect
late.
all the time.
For those of you who are new or just joining us, we are a queer podcast, pun intended, where we talk about cannabis, the LGBT community, and everything in between and beyond. Actually, started blinking on my new intro. Or on our intro. Do you want to talk about what we're smoking on today?
Yeah, so we got an eighth of Seven Hills Blackjack flower, and it is a sativa. THCA is 23.83%, so about average for like flower. I've been seeing, at least in the PA market right now.
Wait, how much?
23.83%.
A little weaker, but not like too bad. I mean, yeah, you're right. That's kind of middle, upper high.
Your highest, excuse me, the highest terp in here is terpenoline at 0.61%. Coming in next would be the myrcene at 0.185%. We got humulene, surprisingly, at 0.106%. And everything else is below a 0.06%.
Okay, so not terrible terps.
No, it doesn't have any really it has a little bit of CBG and it has 0.22% CBG, so a little bit. But
so this was your pick this week.
Yeah, and I had it and I was like, interesting. It was selling well at my store. And I'm like, I wonder why it's selling well. So I got it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay.
It's okay.
It was cheap.
Yeah, what would you rate it?
It was on sale. That's why I was probably selling. I mean, man, I don't want to be harsh. That's my thing.
Yeah.
But it didn't really do a whole lot. I know we had discussion when we were out on the porch of like if we were actually really feeling much.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say like a 2.5. I'm not
2.5.
real thrilled, but like I'll use it up because it was cheap weed.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't.
Do you know how much this goes full price?
No. Seven Hills just dropped their price. I want to say these are 30, 35. I might be mistaken. No, they're 25 right now. They're on sale for $25 right now. So normally they're $35, and they're on sale for $25 right now.
Wow, really?
Mm-hmm. So I I snagged it because I was like, it was cheap, and maybe that's why people were buying it. I wasn't sure if it was actually good or if it was just because it was cheap. So
Yeah, a couple of the stores near us is 40.
yeah,
So
depends on where you buy it, where it's going to be priced at. But where I am at and getting stuff from it was $25.
yeah, because some stores have deals and stuff going on with like the company of like they buy with. Because well, my store isn't the home brand for Prime Wellness. It seems like the company I work for has a deal with them maybe because our locations sell very cheap compared to some of the other surrounding stores.
I'm so sorry.
You're fine. Man, what would I rate this? I still don't feel really high. For a split second, I felt high, and that was it.
I stood up too fast and it hit me, and then it was done.
I think that might have been my issue. Is I just moved, just
You
bent
just moved
up and
too
down
fast.
too fast. I like the cure on it though.
It was very sticky.
Yeah,
Not you.
that new robot. It was nice flavor and everything, but like I'm not feeling really any of the effects from it.
I'm not either.
Like I don't know, and they also promote like that they're like all natural products and everything, which is why they were a little pricier for a bit because it's compost based soil, like fresh water, like you try and go all natural based sources and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think the strain is really that great on it, honestly. Like this specific strain.
I have had some other stuff from Seven Hills.
Same.
And whenever we lived in State College, and it was pretty good. That Lemon Kush headband I've been trying to track down.
That's a really good one.
That was a good one.
I think just this particular strain's a little weak.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe they're having some issues at the grow. I have no idea. Or what's going on. But
Yeah.
I'm not. So like how it says please recycle, and you actually really can't recycle these in the state.
Like the state recycles it again. But
Yeah,
I'm going to agree with you though. 2.5.
2.5, yeah. It's just it was creeping, and then it was for like maybe not even 5 minutes, and then it was nothing.
Yeah. Buddy, can I trim your nails?
He is not going to let us trim his nails.
I know. Do you want to introduce your topic first?
My topic.
With the news that we learned today?
Oh yeah. The TikTok I had sent you.
Yes.
That was talking about. Okay, cool. So the person that I had found this TikTok from is the guy who goes, "Gay news." So there has been a regulation with donating blood in the United States because of is it HIV?
Yes. Well, it's not a regulation update. It's a draft to update the guidelines.
Yeah, for HIV, for gay and bisexual men, and they would put a ban on the person for 30 years for like you cannot donate blood, and you'd get rejected for having sex with another man. And by proxy, if someone would have sex with you, you would have to go. I think it was for me because I had gotten rejected for that reason. It was like 8 months, I think. Yeah, 8 to 9 months.
I think it was a year when you and me went to try
donating. It was a year because I'm like, there's no fucking way that that's happening.
Yeah.
And so I couldn't donate blood for like fucking longest time.
Yeah. Because they were still considering me a man.
Yeah. Which is bullshit.
That's actually updated in here too.
Yeah, and the policy is going to take that off because that is fucking homophobic. Mm-hmm. And so now it's going to be, it isn't just going to be if you are free from like HIV, STDs, like all the everything that you can donate blood.
Yeah. Okay. So here's the recommended for elevating donator eligibility questions. We FDA are issuing the draft guidance to receive comments on revised recommendations for elevating donor eligibility using risk-based questions. This draft guide will be when finalized will provide you with blood establishments that collect blood or blood components including source plasma, with the FDA's revised donor deferral recommendations with individuals with, quote, increased risks for transmitting human immunodeficient virus, parentheses, HIV infection, quote, we are recommending that you make corresponding revisions to your donor education material, donor history questionnaires, and accommodating material, along with revisions that your donor re-qualify and produce management procedures. This guidance, when finalized, will supersede the guidance entitled, quote, revised recommendations for reducing the risk of HIV by blood and blood products, end quote, dated April 2020, updated August 2020. The recommendations contained in this draft, when finalized, will apply to the collection of blood and blood components, including source plasma.
Yeah, because I remember they lifted it and it was shorter. It wasn't a year. It was like then 6 months to 3 months because of
Yes.
COVID, and they needed so much blood.
Yes.
Which I was like, you're not doing it for the right. Well, you're doing it for a good reason, but it's not the reason that I was hoping that you would get rid of that, and they'd see that.
Yeah, and I'm trying to find is it this one? I can't really find the document of what it says it's going to be, but I think it's more of they're just going to start testing it like normal people. But
because this has always been an issue that LGBTQ people have faced.
Yes.
And I was just looking, I was scrolling through TikTok, and it was like something, I can't remember what it is. It was a queer man, and his straight friend had said he'd slept with 93 women that year.
Yeah.
And he told them that because he felt so bad of what had happened to him, his friend, why he couldn't give blood is because he was queer.
Yeah.
And it's just like, that's fucking crazy.
And the Red Cross stated, I can pull up their statement here if you want me to, that Red Cross has been working for many years to change the deferral policy concerning men who have sex with men, MSM. This work includes decades of data collection and assessment of the impact of transfusion safety, ongoing advocacy to eliminate donor questions based on sexual orientation, and our recent role as leading contributor to the FDA-funded advanced study. There is more work to be done, and we'll continue to provide data to the FDA in support of further progress. The Red Cross also recognizes the hurt this policy has caused, and that this is just the first steps in repairing relationships with the broader LGBTQ community. The FDA will continue to allow 60 days for public comment on this draft guidance, and we continue to encourage individuals to share their feedback with us during this period.
I didn't see that. That's good that they understand.
Yeah.
They understand and they get it and they're sorry.
So this is the current thing that they have. Men who have sex with men are deferred for 3 months from their most recent sexual contact. A man who has had sex with another man during the past 3 months. All U.S. blood collected organizations must follow this federal requirement. So basically just, you gotta wait 3 months. That's about the same as a piercing right now, I think. But still stupid, in my opinion. Because here, women with women, there are no deferrals. Now, here's interesting. Transgender has been updated since 2020.
Oh.
The FDA revised guidance states, quote, in context of the donor history questionnaire, FDA recommends that male or female gender be taken to be self-identified and self-reported, end quote. This allows blood donors to register with the gender in which they identify. The Red Cross will no longer ask donors to answer both male and female questions when attempting to donate. There is no deferral associated with being transgender, and eligibility will be based on the criteria associated with the gender the donor has reported. So it means I can donate blood now, even if I have sex with a man.
Fuck yeah.
There's also things for intersex donors, which is basically just the same thing of the whole self-identify, self-reporting. No, there's also one for non-binary. The Red Cross values all potential blood donors and understands selecting male or female may not align with how some individuals identify. The Red Cross also knows that there is a difference between biological sex and gender. The FDA revised guidelines states the same thing about the whole self-identified thing. The FDA requires the Red Cross to have donors select male or female, though, which sucks. There's no third option right now that the Red Cross can add, but at least it's saying that they know it, because
okay. Play devil's advocate here, because this is what I've always fucking heard during the medical shit, which upsets me. They need to know things about you to properly medically treat you.
Yes.
Which you will react differently based on hormones in your body and things of that nature. But also you can get that from just like self-reported medical history.
Yeah. But also at the same time, there's like things that like, yes, well, I know I'm more eligible to have prostate cancer. There's a lot that like has gone into my body now that like wouldn't be on average like quote unquote male checkups or females, because like I have now the risk of both breast. I mean, not saying that guys can't get breast, like cis men can't get breast cancer. They definitely can.
Mhm.
Anybody with mammary glands is there, and everyone has them. Can get breast cancer. I have a higher risk now that I have actual boobs, and so I have a. Not saying it's genetic either. I don't want to worry. Like I'm just saying, like comparatively to most average people, I have the same amount of risk for now both breast cancer and prostate cancer. So that's fine. So I also think that probably like there should be more of like, you know, kind of doctors understanding that and learning like, hey, transgender health along with intersex health, it's a little different.
Yeah.
Well, there's one for asexual donors. It just says individuals who do not have sex with other people may be eligible to donate blood.
Okay, well that's good to know.
Okay. There's even like questionnaires like I'm a trans man and I've been eligible to donate blood because of my assigned sex at birth. However, I've had sex with another man. Can I donate blood? Individual who identifies as male and have sex with other male men within the past month will be deferred under the MSN policy. Oh, here's one. I am a trans man and I have not been able to donate because of my assigned sex with male at birth. And I have sex with a man. Can I donate blood? Individuals who identify as female and have sex with a man may be eligible to donate blood if all other blood donation eligibility criteria are applicable. If an individual was previously deferred from donating blood to MSM, the person will need to call the donor client service center to confirm eligibility before coming to donate. Well, I never went in, I just asked.
Yeah, I actually went in to try to donate and they deferred me. I probably would have to call them. You want to know the funniest thing? The emails never stopped from the Red Cross until I had to unsubscribe myself. Because when you get deferred, they don't fucking take you off the mailing list, which pissed me off. And I have a very needed blood type, so like they were on my ass.
I will say it's kind of weird that I want to know if mom can donate blood now, because it's weird. Okay, so my mom was in England during the mad cow outbreak. The thing is, my mom was vegetarian at the time, and they still bar her. Well, it's been a while, but they still barred her from donating blood. I'm wondering if she's eligible now still.
I don't know. That'd be a good question.
I'm gonna say probably not, but who knows? Wow, we actually spent a real long time with the Red Cross.
Heck yeah.
That's the first. I could bring up the topic that was the first thing I learned today while looking up stuff for the podcast, but I found it by accident. Ethos Cannabis. Their website got hacked. So, if you're not on it and you live in Pennsylvania, r/PA medical marijuana subreddit and the user u/meth the username. So thank you for sharing this. Shared that the Ethos Cannabis website got hacked and it turned into basically a slot machine, one of those fake slot machine games that are phishing, basically.
Oh my goodness.
There were so many jokes about it. It looks really bad. It's translated automatically from Indonesian for some reason.
Well, when you told me that, I then went to Ethos's website on my phone, and it said the page could not be reached.
Yeah, it's probably because it doesn't really work.
Let me see if it's still.
Let me just go Ethos Robinson. Go to the website. Oh no, it's fixed now.
Oh, they fixed it. Well then.
Okay. Yeah, they fixed it. Okay. Well, as of 9:00 this morning, it was hacked.
That's funny.
And it's very funny. Speaking of things that are funny, they're not on my show notes. MJ was down today.
Oh yeah, you told me that.
That was freaking annoying. So, for those of you who don't know or in the aware, every dispensary has to have MJ Freeway tied into their systems in one way or the other.
To their point of sales to keep, track of everything in the state and their dispensary and what they're selling, and everything has to be accounted for.
Exactly. So basically, the moment you get scanned in to the moment you buy your products, that's all through MJ Freeway. Now, the online menu doesn't have to be. It can be whatever fucking thing the company wants.
Dutchie, can be I Heart Jane, can be like whoever the fuck else.
Be fucking Leafly or something like that. I don't think anyone in the state uses Leafly, but that's just an example.
Yeah.
But basically, if MJ Freeway goes down, no one can scan anyone in. No one can buy products or anything
at any dispensary in the state.
Once it goes down, you'll have some spottage areas, but like if it's a major down like we had today, it's a major down.
Like you just have to turn people away and say sorry. There's nothing really we can do.
And I did for a total of 2 hours.
Good grief!
I was so bored.
I can only imagine.
And some people getting so mad at me. Like one patient was like, "Thanks, government." Basically, I drove all the way over here from this area, and the government screwed me again because I needed my medicine. I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't do anything right now. The system's not working.
There's nothing we can do. You can go to any dispensary, and there's nothing they can do.
But I'm just thinking, like in the back of my head, don't you live like 15 minutes by car from here, dude? Like, I get it's an inconvenience to get it. You not get it exactly when you wanted it, but try again later. I tried telling him that, but he was already out the door muttering to himself.
Some patients hear whatever they want to hear.
He didn't even give me a chance to say anything. The moment I told him it's down, that was it. He was mumbling out the door.
See a white man? That explains it.
Yep.
Older white man?
Uh-huh.
Always. Fair. Always. Older white man.
I had one guy go like, "Hey, I gotta go. I'm going to try coming back later. What time you guys close?" I'm like, 8. And he goes, "Okay." But I was telling everybody, I don't know if every store operates this way, but at least my store does. If your order, especially on like days where it's screwed up like this, if you are, for whatever reason, unable to pick up your order, know when we close, because we got to cancel all the orders and everything, and like put the same order in like 10 minutes after we close.
Yeah, because then it kicks it to the next day.
Exactly. And we keep everything in order. I'm a big stickler on that. I make sure everything's in order, so whoever ordered first gets the, like, say we have like 2 products left and there's 3 people who order them. Whoever ordered first gets it.
Yeah. That's the way it should be.
Mm-hmm. So the only other thing with that I will say is if they ordered the last one and we took it off menu, sometimes we don't put it back on menu to have to redo the inventory count and everything in the morning, so it might not show up, but just put your order in, and sometimes you're like, hey, I also had this. Do we have any more of that?
Or you could say, hey, yeah, yesterday I put the same order in with this other thing, or if we're paying attention, I've caught it before.
Yeah.
I'd be like, hey, you put this order in yesterday. There was something else on here, wasn't there?
Yeah. Itchy. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that like will work with you. Now, some dispensaries, I know if you don't order, if you order and then don't pick up and do that for like a consecutive amount of times, they'll flag you.
Yeah, as somebody who just doesn't pick up their order.
Yeah, because that's basically you're just trying to hold it until you have either the money or anything, which is smart, but like apparently Sunnyside used to do that pre-union. I don't know if they're still doing that.
Interesting.
This was also like early in the well, basically when they first came around. You know, when the parking lot situation was a bigger fiasco.
Oh yeah.
I mean, to be fair, it's downtown Pittsburgh. Well, no, technically not downtown.
It's not downtown.
The Strip.
The Strip.
But like that area of
Yeah.
of Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, the greater Pittsburgh area. Yeah.
Geez, what else do I have? I don't know. We got like 5 minutes. Do I have something that's like 5 minutes worth? Not really. Is there anything you wanted to bring up?
Not really. I don't think so. I don't know if we want to talk about what we did this weekend.
Oh, sure, we could. It's queer related.
Went to Rocky Shocky double feature this weekend.
Yes.
That was fun.
That was a lot of fun. First time I've ever watched Shock Treatment, which is a quote unquote spiritual continuation.
It's an equal.
That's why I say continuation.
It's an equal. That's what everybody calls it. It's not a sequel. It's not a prequel. It's an equal.
Of Rocky Horror.
Yeah. Follows Brad and Janet after the events of Rocky Horror.
Rocky Horror, yeah.
I was gonna say the Denton, and then my brain always can't fill in that last word.
The Denton incident.
Incident. Yeah. Really weird. Real weird movie.
Yeah.
Still real interesting though.
Yeah. I just hate how like the title song A is halfway through the movie.
It's because it changed movies halfway through being made.
Yeah, true.
So that kind of threw a wrench in everything.
Well, no, the original screenplay, which is like Transylvania's got her mojo back or something like that, was actually fully made and pitched, and no one had accepted it. But yeah, okay, but yeah, so it makes sense why the title song is halfway through the movie, but also the title is Shock Treatment. There was at no point electrocution therapy ever produced.
They should have called it sedative treatment. There was so many those people. Everybody in that movie should have been fucking dead by the end of it.
Especially Brad.
Oh my god, Brad! Yeah, Jesus.
Like those are definitely Tic Tacs.
Yeah.
In the movie, and it's very obvious that they were Tic Tacs.
Yes.
First off, super obvious that they were the pink Tic Tacs. For sure. Did you notice that the entire movie they're all pink Tic Tacs? But no, it was a really cool show. I really liked it because they had two different groups, shadow cast groups that also participated in it.
Yeah, there was like 3 times the cast there.
Yeah, it was a lot of people.
Which is crazy. I would have loved to have been able to go to brunch with them, but I was not invited this time. But I did go with them prior, and they are a very cool group of people.
And
all of them.
I recognize some of them from the live stream of RockyCon.
Yeah.
Or no, RKOCon?
RKOCon.
It was something like that. I can't remember.
RKOCon.
It's RKOCon.
Sorry, I'm Yanni boy.
You're good. But yeah, that was really cool. Our partner Mia had a really cool performance as
yes,
Harry.
I loved it. It was great. I got to get some good pictures too. And then the big F. the big F gave you a headache. And you were kind of overstimulated and everything.
Yeah.
So you stayed at Mia's, but Mia and I went up into the balcony and sat and watched from the balcony and shouted callbacks. And it was a great time. We got to cuddle because those seats, the ones on the floor, do not lift up. But the ones on the balcony, you can lift the middle part up and cuddle.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's what we were doing. It was great.
I will say the weirdest song, and it's getting stuck between that and Shock Treatment song.
Yeah.
Is the one where Brad and Janet are basically waiting for the commercial to end. So it's just the commercial is just a bunch of the like appliances that this place is selling.
Mm-hmm.
And Brad just goes, "Oh, blender. Oh, toaster.
And Brad, what's this?
Refrigerator." And then Janet goes on and was like, what was it? Like, digital.
Micro digital waker. It's an alarm clock, bitch.
Yeah, I was just like, that one's weird. Okay. Why?
Sooner or later.
I don't know. That was just weird. It was like when you're trying to like elongate like an essay, so you're trying to make as much words, so you basically turn an alarm clock into like a 5.
Oh my goodness.
Well, we are getting to the break.
Alrighty.
We're going to have a have a quick rehydrate moments and maybe get a little lifted, and we'll be back after some words from our sponsors, affiliate programs, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Words from us.
Hey there, it's Alex from Smoking Out the Closet. We've been so glad to be able to make this podcast for you, and we now have some partners who are happy to help make this podcast happen as well. Our friends over at Da Vinci Vapors have sent us one of their many amazing products, the IQC Dry Herb Vaporizer. If you've been listening to the podcast for a while, you've heard us talk about Da Vinci, and we've even used the IQC on the show. With a half-gram dry herb chamber, 30-second heat up time, precision temperature control, removable and rechargeable 18650 battery, and an on time of 2 hours, what's not to love about the Da Vinci IQC? Well, what if we told you can get an extra 15% off just for listening to this podcast? That's right, use the code SOTC15 for 15% off at checkout site-wide. Thanks again to our friends over at Da Vinci Vapors, and now, back to the episode.
And we are back. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to bring up and for us to discuss is the PA medical memo being introduced by Senator Rayven and Senator Brewster. They've submitted a memorandum to change the PA Medical Marijuana Act. The proposed legislation would eliminate qualifying conditions, allowing physicians who can prescribe controlled substances like Adderall and Vicodin and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
To make recommendations for their patients and to eliminate the annual renewal requirement. So honestly, I feel like this is kind of just a push. While I haven't gone into a deep dive of the memo, we will be updating you guys on this. I feel like it's just kind of like a weird push right now to try forcing the DOH to go rec.
Yeah.
But my concern is with this. I have a friend who they've tried everything under the sun except Adderall to help with their ADHD.
Yeah.
And they've gotten Adderall from a friend to try it and everything, who, also has ADHD, and it works. And they told them this, and they refused to give them access to Adderall. I feel like if we do this with the certifying, like the qualifying conditions and everything, while it will give some people more access, I feel like having it be anybody who can prescribe these, like that can prescribe controlled substances, is going to make it harder for people to actually get their prescription.
Yeah.
Because then you're going to have doctors who don't want to do it, want to try whatever big pharma is pushing first.
Exactly. Whatever they're going to make money off of.
Exactly. And that's one thing I'm worried about. Is there anything you can think of that you're worried about right off the bat with like just what could go wrong?
It's just like you said, it's going to take away accessibility, and like I feel like we're going to see it's going to be the opposite of what we wanted. There's going to be less people in the program.
Mm-hmm.
And how is the how are they going to track the no renewal thing? Are they just going to send you a new card every year, or what's the process with that?
Yeah. Are you going to have to like pay the fee every year still? Because what I was looking at earlier, it seems like you're also not going to have to pay the fee.
Interesting. I know they already did that for like low income people, or if you're on any sort of state assistance, which was nice.
But so this is where I think it's a very double-edged sword that's basically cutting everybody in the process. So it's going to like push away the scummy certifying physicians who are charging like 150 plus to people to get their card renewed. Like I've heard stories of, oh yeah, I just got my card, and we were talking, and he's like, one person was like, by the way, how much am I supposed to be paying a certified physician? Well, it kind of varies. How much did you pay? Like $320. I'm sorry,
No.
what? So it's going to get rid of those guys, which, in my opinion, good.
Yeah, get rid of those.
But at the same time, whatever we were using cannabis tax, I'm tenting. I just realized I'm doing the hand tent thing.
You are.
Whatever funds we've generated or taxes we supplement with the medical market with like fees and stuff to get the card, that's going to go away. And that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
To just kind of get axed.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's something big in the play as well. I feel like this is the Safe Banking Act in a little bit. The Safe Banking Act sounds good on paper, right? But usually that only generates the elite and the MSOs. So who's benefiting from this packet, from this memo coming out? Is the thing I'm worried about.
That's a fair thing to worry about.
And it's also being supported and pushed by people who voted against home grow. That's another thing that's confusing me.
That's weird.
They voted no to the home grow memorandum. That was like last year, I think.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, this is not obvious. Obviously, you guys are kind of playing the field for somebody. Somebody's lobbied to you. Yeah, I don't know what else to add on that one. You?
Sorry.
You're good.
I don't think so.
Okay. I mean, we'll definitely keep an eye on this one.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it's just gonna end up dead in its tracks, like State Bill 167 did with the DUI protection.
Yeah.
More than likely, it's just gonna end up dead in their tracks. But this kind of segues me into the next thing I wanted to bring up, of things that should be dying in their tracks, and one got fucking passed. Everything else got almost crushed, but one passed. So a lot of states have been pushing. Excuse me. A lot of states have been pushing over the last year. Later, I want to say second half of the year, last year and this year, anti-trans legislation. Bunch of states had them. I think Texas had 19 on the docket introduced in the first session of the fucking year.
Of course.
Utah's governor signed a bill that passed banning gender affirming care for transgender youth. Now here's the thing, right? This starts with a ban, like we've seen in other states, for minors up until the age of 18, and then they put in a legislation up to the age of 21. Then they put another legislation up to the age of 26. It's not going to stop at the kids.
Everything's just, they're going to try to ban it all.
Yeah. And it's think of the kids where it's not.
Yeah.
So Utah's Republican governor on Saturday. This section is copied from NPR. Signed a bill that banned youth from receiving gender-affirming health care and allow families to receive scholarships to pay for education outside the public school system. Both measures are part of a nationwide movement. Governor Spencer Cox, who had not taken a public position on transgender care measure, signed it a day after the legislature was sent to his desk. Utah's measure prohibits transgender surgery for youth, which, first off, no one's getting gender-affirming care as a minor.
No.
Let's just point that out first. You cannot get gender-affirming care as a minor, but you can get a tattoo, you can get a boob job, you can get a nose job, you can get lipo. As long as you're at the age of, I think, 15 or 16 with a parent's signature.
What the fuck?
And these are life-altering as well. Like, they can be very life-altering, and one, in some ways more than others. Excuse me. And it disallows hormone treatments for minors who have not yet been diagnosed with gender dysphoria. So you have to get gender dysphoria diagnosis. Utah is one of the hardest states to get a gender dysphoria diagnosis. And newsflash, you don't need that to be trans.
Yeah.
Don't let the whole trans medical community of us tell you, oh, you need to have it. No, you fucking don't. I didn't find out that I was trans until I had my first bout with gender euphoria. And I was like, what the fuck is this? I feel good about myself for once? What the fuck? What?
I feel called out. I've been there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The state's Republican-dominated legislature prioritizes the ban and considered a first draft of the measure less than 10 days ago. This was a couple of days old, so I'm going to say it's 12 days ago now. 2 days after the legislature opened this year's session on January 17th, Cox's approval of the bill comes as lawmakers in at least 18 states consider similar bills targeting health care for young transgender people. Cox explained in a statement that his decision was based on his belief that it is prudent to pause, quote, these permanent and life-altering treatments for new patients until more and better research can be determined the long-term consequences, end quote. Here's my question. What do you do if there's a transgender kid who has been on hormone therapy before they figured out they were transgender due to a thyroid imbalance? What are you going to do then?
Yeah.
The moment they figure out they're trans, they're not going to continue on this hormone. She's going to stop that. What are you going to do for those kids that are intersex and need the hormones to basically fit in with society better? What if they started to transition to go what more they feel comfortable with their body aligns with? You're going to ban it then? And that's the thing that gets me too. Is everyone thinks that we're saying kids need to have hormone therapy right away. Well, that's not what we're saying. We're saying we need to give the kids an option, and this needs to be discussed between the kid, their parents, and a medical professional.
Mm-hmm.
And that needs to be the decision between them. It's not my decision, but they have my support. And honestly, most of the kids who figure it out at a younger age, the worst thing that happens is around 10 at the earliest for some. maybe like 12 more realistic, they get put on puberty blockers, which already happens because some people start puberty a little early and doctors think that it might kind of mess things up a little bit, so they put on temporary puberty blockers. And then guess what? If they decide, hey, I'm not trans, but thank you for giving me the opportunity to figure this out, it's not irreversible or like damaging to them. They don't go sterile like some other fucking like Tucker goddamn Carlson and the dumb bitch who runs Lips of TikTok. Fuck you guys. They don't go sterile. It's more of they're a late bloomer now, or they're just kind of average, I guess, depending on when they stop. But at the worst case, they're a late bloomer. Oh no, it's not like kids don't do that naturally. Like, oh god, I was a late bloomer. What?
No.
You're just staring at me.
I'm just watching you. You are into what you're talking about, and I am into listening to you being into what you're talking about.
Thank you. I don't normally get on rants, but this show I do a lot of rants.
I like to listen.
But it's a lot of dumb bullshit.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Absolutely 100%.
Yes, 1,000%. A quadrillion percent.
Not even a word.
Quadrillion?
Yeah.
Yes.
What?
A quadrillion?
Quadrillion.
Gonna look this up on my computer.
Are you saying quadrillion? Is that $4 trillion?
Quadrillion. 1,000 raised to the...
Oh, trillion.
Yes.
Okay.
Quadrillion. My nose is stuffy.
I didn't know if it was delta or theta.
Oh, it was delta.
Okay. Thank you.
You know what? We'll just say what it is. It's a Googleplex percent.
Okay.
For those of you who don't know what a Googleplex is, that is a 1 followed by a million zeros.
And that is how Google got its name. That's what Google is named after.
A Google, spelled Googol, is 10 to the 100th power. Oh, which is 1 followed by 100 zeros.
Yes.
But
Google.
Huh?
Google.
Where was I? Oh yeah. So like this trans care isn't even the worst. It's the only one that's passed, but there's so many worst ones comparatively. I'm sad that it's passed. It could be worse, but it still should not have passed to begin with. There's states like Tennessee and Montana and Texas that their bills are basically saying if you don't follow the gender norms of the sex assigned at birth, you are breaking the law if they pass, which basically says, oh, transgender people, also drag queens. Yeah.
That's bullshit.
There's also drag bans going around now that is basically making it that if you basically cross dress from your assigned, so if you're not matching what you're supposed to dress from your assigned sex at birth, I'm putting heavy air quotes here. We don't have a camera set up yet, so you guys can't see us. Heavy air quotes on this. That you're being sexually deviant and basically promiscuous and breaking the law that way. Kind of the whole setup like in the early 2010s of like how they were pushing like furries were perverts and everything, and kids shouldn't be allowed furries.
Mm-hmm.
It's that same bullshit. They're basically trying to take the whole Puritan approach, because fuck the Puritans, and basically make it so everybody who's not in the whole gender norms that they have established is breaking the law. So that means guys wearing skirts for whatever reason, like the fucking lead singer of fucking Smashing Pumpkins, will get arrested in these states. Fucking RuPaul will get arrested for these states. Fuck RuPaul, first off, but
Better for infringes on freedom of expression.
You're right. It does. But then again, a lot of the laws do. Mm-hmm.
You could also argue that there should be a separation of church and state, because if you find out if some of these people are Christian and they're upholding like standard Christian moral values, you can step in and say that it's a violation of church and state, because also the Bible has very strict like gender roles that people are supposed to fit into too.
But that's the thing too, is a lot of it is the separation of church and state is so broken with the Republican Party. They're like, oh, we need less government, but they're the ones that instructing like very specific rules against people because of religion. And they're always the ones saying, oh, we need to follow the Constitution, but breaking the fucking Constitution and the Bill of Rights.
They're the people who don't know what that actually means.
I know. It's just frustrating, you know?
I know.
And then what's even more frustrating is the queer people that are supporting these assholes, because they're trying to become accepting by basically punching down and not realizing that they're digging their own hole as well. Oh, okay. Since we got time, can we talk about the whole fucking thing with J.K. Rowling's tweet today?
Oh, sure. I don't fucking look at her anymore.
Oh, this came up on our Twitter feed because of somebody else shared it. So J.K. Rowling shared the infamous "Shut the fuck up" turf with the Zombieland idol, or Zombieland Saga, I think it's the name of the anime. Character who is canonically trans in it.
Mm-hmm.
With the really cringe, like, shut the fuck up turf, like, holding the gun. Like, that one that, like, someone brought into, like, a courtroom a couple years ago, deciding that trans people are dangerous because they do this.
Mm-hmm.
Keep in mind, this is our cringe meme culture here. And this is very of the time, because, like, people were making memes about this, too. Like,
yeah.
And not just in trans stuff, either. It was, like, the cool and lame man busts through your door and like has a gun and opens, like, say, oh yeah, or, you know, or like they sing a song perfectly or get your knees capped or whatever. But then she's comparing it to the women's suffrage cartoons, saying like, what I would do with suffragists, and it's basically like a woman in a like medieval torture device.
What the fuck?
And she's like, same shit, different century. I'm like, what? No, it's not.
No, it's not.
So yeah, between that and whole like the they were divide on Twitter. Like this one guy was tweeting, is like, oh, you're transphobic and a little a bit of anti-Semitic if you're getting Hogwarts Legacy. And the one person is like, how is that anti-Semitic? Like, if you identify as a goblin, that's your problem. And I'm like, it's not the fact that they identify as a goblin. It's not they're saying that. It's the little cartoon caricature of goblins that have very large anti-Semitic roots that are so prevalent in Western culture that we might even think about, but the Jewish community has been saying for a very long time, hey, these are fucking Jewish anti-Semitic stereotypes. Stop using them this way.
Yeah.
That's why I like Paizo's depiction of goblins better than Wizards of the Coast, because instead of having like the stereotypical like big nose that was so typical of like anti-Semitic cartoons, goblins have more kind of like a puck nose, like a snout almost. It's more of like very small but kind of like slitted near the bottom. That's neat. Like basically, if you take Voldemort's nose and give it actual like cartilage, that's kind of what it looks like. That's why I like Paizo a lot more sometimes. And for those of you who don't know who Paizo is, they make Pathfinder and Pathfinder 2e. But like that's one way. And this was the weirdest fucking part too of this guy's argument. Because the person said like, I don't want to buy a game that's like promoting slavery, talking about whole like the slave thing with the elves. The guy goes, this game was made in set in 1890 something. You know what was going on in the world then? slavery. And I'm thinking in the back of my head, dude, do you not realize that we abolished slavery by this point in our history? Yeah, there's still slavery and slave trade and human trafficking and shit going on in the world right now. That doesn't make it right.
No. God, fucking no. People
So, if you are an ally to the transgender community, do not buy this money because J.K. Rowling will get royalties. The developers and everybody have been paid. The people making the profits off the sales numbers are the executives and the publishers, the executives, and J.K. Rowling getting her royalty fees. Do not buy this game. If you are interested in buying this game, either buy it used or illegally download it.
Yeah. Steal it.
Steal it. Hell, fucking 5-finger discount.
Yep.
Now, that being said, can I talk about the fucking game a little bit from what I've heard?
Sure.
Because this thing doesn't make sense. Everyone's hyped about this game, right? This game came out in 2023. While it is made by a smaller developing team, the graphics and everything, the storyline and everything's very complex too. And there's so many branching like endings and everything. How is a game made in 2023 about being a magical caster only has 26 spells in it?
Yeah.
When a game made in 2011 where one class, maybe two, of the entire like 8 classes you can play with use spells, and that has 70 something spells in the game. And to those of you who don't know what I'm referring to, I remember comparing 2011's Demon Souls, or was it Dark Souls 1? I can't remember. One of the two. It was either Demon Souls or Dark Souls. I want to say it's Demon Souls. Comparing that one to the Hogwarts Legacy game, how does Demon Souls have more magic casting ability? I don't get it.
It's a cash grab, Rayven, at this point.
It honestly kind of is. And like the developers and the writers of the game said they aren't aligned with J.K. Rowling's views, and you can make your character any way, look, gender identity you want, kind of similar to like the whole cyberpunk slide.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, that's fine. If you want to play the game and you want to be an ally, buy it fucking used or steal it. That's all we're saying. Don't actually buy.
Don't give her your money. Do not give J.K. Rowling your money.
Yeah, do not give her your money. It's fucking horrible. Which sucks too, because like, Mom, before any of this transgender shit, she started really like supporting Lumos, because Lumos did a lot of good work. But you can still do good work and be a shitty ass person. And people are like, oh, well, it's just a bunch of people who are like mentally ill and all that. Then why are you making our lives more difficult? If you consider, which is not, but I'm going to use their logic against them. If you think people who are transgender are mentally ill, why are you belittling them?
Mm-hmm.
Because they're Christians, right? Aren't you supposed
Christians
to help?
are supposed to be helping people and bettering the world and all this.
Do you have anything you want to add? I'm sorry I went on a whole rant about J.K. Rowling.
You're good. She's a fucking turf and should rot in a hole. My theory still stands. I believe that she's a trans man and she's just so in the closet and she's an egg and she needs to just fucking... The only people who think about being trans this much are fucking trans. The only people who obsess about the intricacies of being transgender are themselves trans.
I can't remember her name on TikTok. That reminded me of a good point. Do you ever notice how all of the issues are focused on trans women?
Yeah.
And every time they bring up the argument, it's trans women, not trans men.
Yeah.
Because of the whole fucking patriarchal misogyny bullshit that this Western culture that we have, that most society has, is focused on. Because if a woman wants to be a man, that's fine, because you're gaining rights, you're gaining power. that whole weird bullshit, right?
Yeah.
But they can't wrap their head around that a person going from male to female. I'm going to steal my friend's joke on this one. Is basically trading their rights for tits.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that's always the case, but that's just like in the short version. Is basically they can't wrap their head around why that you don't want to be a man. Why do you not want to be a man? You have so much great potential and everything. You have so much the ability to like have so much more. Now you're just basically putting yourself in this little like glass ceiling issue.
I don't understand why anybody would want to be a man. Personally, I don't understand it. I still don't get it. I don't understand why anybody would be a man.
But like that's such how big like how intrinsic or intertwined the misogyny is in this country.
Oh, absolutely. And it's fucking disgusting.
Because why would you be a woman? What's great about being a woman? And it's just so many fucking issues. And I'm sad to say that I'm seeing a lot of parallels to 1920s and 1930s Germany right now. Because I brought up on a previous, when I was still doing On This Day in History, I brought up the fact of the sexual gender research, or the sexuality and research center that got burnt down in 1930, 1929, 1931 range. It's kind of scary. But we're hitting that time. Is there anything you want to say to our lovely listeners? I'm sorry I kind of just took over most of this episode.
No, you're good. No, I'm good.
You
I
good?
don't have anything to add, really.
Okay.
And then I hope everybody enjoyed the episode.
Again, I'm very sorry for kind of just being a word vomit today.
Fine.
I did omissions. I did not talk to anybody for a very long time.
It's okay.
Well, once again, my name is Rayven. I use she, her pronouns.
I'm Alex. I use they, them pronouns.
And we'll see you all in the next episode.
Bye.
Rayven here. I just wanted to make a little ad for our Patreon that we started. First and foremost, all the funds generated with this Patreon is going to go directly back into the podcast, whether that's better equipment so we can make better sounding episodes, give you guys really cool stuff like stickers, pictures, nice little trinkets from us, or be able to travel to places where there is legal weed or there's certain LGBT communities that we want to interact with and talk to, and potentially have some really cool guests come on the show. Now, right now our Patreon is bare bones, and I do apologize with that, but we hope to make it a little better as time goes on. Right now we have 3 tiers: flour, vape cartridges, and concentrates. Flour is $3 per month. Vapes is $6 per month, and concentrates is $9 per month. With flour, you get access to our Discord, the Scuttle Zone, a private Discord that we have for you guys to kind of interact with each other and potentially interact with us. We have things for like different aspects of the cannabis community and LGBT community where you guys can talk to and kind of just interact with each other and learn from each other, and learn with us. But you also get early access to these episodes. You get a day or two, basically immediately after I'm done editing the episode, I am putting it on the Patreon so you guys can listen to it early. With vape, you have everything from the flour, but you also have access to the private chat room in the Discord server for one-on-one discussions and questions for us. You'll have the ability to basically be, hey, I have a question about this certain thing, and we'll answer it at the end of every episode. We won't get to everyone all at the same time, obviously, but we'll spread it out through the month and be able to get to as many questions as we can. And then with the concentrates, you get everything from flour and vape, but you also get behind the scenes looks at what we do here. I'll show like what I'm editing and like maybe little sound files or like little clips of what we're working on. Our show notes, so you get to see that early, potentially, knowing what topics we're going to be talking about on this next episode. pictures of stuff in and outside of the recording stuff, like things like cannabis festivals. We'll take pictures and post some of them online, but with the behind the scenes access, you get to see all of that. Basically, all the dumb faces we make at each other, all the cool stuff that we see, and all the cute things that we find. It's my hope with this Patreon that we'll be able to go far and wide and hopefully be able to see some of you guys or have some live shows in the future where you guys can come and interact with us. And obviously, no pressure. I just want to make sure that you guys are aware of this, and first and foremost, take care of you guys yourselves. If you don't have money to support it, or if something happens, you have to stop, we totally understand. Thanks.